Hey, this is Sam Black with my second match with blue-white, or green-white Marvel in Standard. I am on the draw, and I have an opening hand that I think I have to keep, but it definitely... I think it's a clear keep. I have Threat Inspector, and then I can draw a clue, or draw with the clue, and then I have mid-game plays. But I'm pretty far from Delirium on Ishkana, though it helps that I have Evolving Wilds, and I might be behind on board when I can cast Gideon. But it's still... I can spend most of my mana for most of the game, so that's about all you can hope for, or all you can expect anyway. My opponent plays a Copter, which is really good against this hand, and then follows it up with Pia and an attack. So I'm in a tough spot here. Stasis Snare is a really good draw. Gives me a chance to answer the Copter. My opponent plays a Scrounger, animates the Copter. I'm going to snare the Copter, of course, fall to 14. And my opponent has another Copter, which is a huge problem because now if I play Gideon, my opponent can just kill it with flyers. So I decide to just play another Inspector and draw a card with the clue. But I'm going to take a lot of damage here. My opponent gets to use Copter and has a Fiery Temper, which they send straight at me. And now I don't block, which is a really huge mistake. I should definitely put 2 Inspectors in front of this Scrounger, especially when my opponent has already shown that they value doing 3 damage to me over killing an Inspector. This is just letting them do 3 damage to me rather than kill an Inspector, and I don't even get the Scrounger out of play. So not blocking there was just really, really bad. Then my opponent has another Scrounger, and I'm beyond dead here. My opponent has Pia to make it so that Ishkana can't block by sacrificing a, let's say, Scrounger, and then hitting me for 4 in the air. So I don't think that it would have really mattered if I had double blocked. I'd be at 7 with one of these things, I could play Copter and Inspector, but I'm not winning from here. Though that is not in any way to excuse the play of not double blocking. That was just really bad. Second game, obviously I get to be on the play here. This hand is not workable, so I mulligan to this, which is definitely better. I have a removal spell and then an Ishkana. It's not a great hand, but I can't expect better on 6 cards. And clearly I'm just going to use Evolving Wilds and Attune. My opponent plays a Copter, and I don't want to get hit by a Copter, so I just pass here, and my opponent sends an Incendiary Flow at me, which is pretty unusual. I play an inspector and a hub, and pass, and I still have snare up. And my opponent just passes, so I'm going to use the clue. And now I can attack with the inspector and play servant while keeping snare up. And my opponent unlicensed disintegrations. And then plays Dark Dwellers and disintegration again. And now I finally get to snare the copter. And declaration the Dark Dweller and play a copter of my own. My opponent sacks the clue. Still doesn't have any pressure. So I just play another copter and pass. I could play the Ishkana and try attacking here, but given that my opponent has 4 cards and still hasn't played a creature, it's likely that they can just kill the copter, and I'm only 1 type away from being able to play Ishkana with Delirium, which will match up much better against an opponent with a lot of removal than just playing a single creature. And my opponent Fiery Tempers me, so clearly they did have an answer to the copter. It's interesting that when I have 2 copters in play, they're still sending Fiery Temper at me. At this point, I'm at 8 entirely from burn spells. I've taken 3, 6, 9, 12 from my opponent just casting burn spells that target me, or unlicensed disintegration that instantly damages me. And my opponent sends another incendiary flow at me, putting me down to 5. So now I can animate a copter, and if my opponent kills it, I can use it to animate the other copter, so it's pretty likely that I'm going to get a hit in here. So I play the the Ishkana and animate a copter and attack, and my opponent just lets me do that. So now it looks like maybe I'm turning things around. But my opponent has an unlicensed disintegration to kill my Ishkana, but I don't take damage now because my opponent doesn't have an artifact. And now we're back to just sitting here, but I have a removal spell and some copters if I draw a creature. My opponent flows me again, and now I'm dead to any burn spell, having taken 18 so far in 3-point increments from burn spells. I draw another stasis snare. And more removal. And my opponent plays a copter, which isn't really a problem. I play a copter, which doesn't really do anything. And my opponent finds the final burn spell to deal the full 21 without attacking, or without connecting with a creature. Actually, without attacking with a creature. So that was a really weird game.